Hello, punters, and welcome to a big edition of the Leg Up podcast. Joining me as always, Blake Johnston, Sam Wood. I'm Nick Lloyd. Boys, a pretty big week, almost a sad week in the racing world. Damien Oliver, he's hung up the riding boots. Well, he's still got a few months to go, but this is it for the great man.
He will be hanging up the riding boots. I think he's done it well. I think it's a good idea to give himself the last chance to score another Group 1. It's not like he's getting forced out of the game or anything like that. He gets his chance to have a big spring, finish where it all started in Ascot for him. It'll just mean that if he does happen to land a Group 1 over the next couple of months, he will get to cherish that moment as like one of the last.
Yeah.
Like he knows it's all coming to an end.
That's right. He could be a bit of a farewell tour, obviously. He'll like you said, he'll go over to Perth. But Frankie Dettori, he's on his sort of final last lap as well, and they could be fighting down the Melbourne Cup. The two old ducks.
Yeah,
cool.
He didn't he win on he won on the E-Ball winner the other day. So I think he has a ride in the Melbourne Cup. What's that horse's name?
Starts with an A.
Absurd.
Absurd. That's it.
Absurd. Yeah. So I think that's what Frankie will be on in the Melbourne Cup. $21 with our good friends at Dabble.
Why is he finishing in Perth?
He's from Perth.
Because he's from Perth.
What? Saving the flight back?
Who?
Why wouldn't you finish at Flemington or something?
That's Railway Stakes Day, probably.
Last Group 1 of this year.
Just let it go.
He's probably got a plum ride.
In front of 2,000.
Give yourself an uppercut. That's
Why?
a great, like.
Why would
Rail-
he finish at Flemington
Kingston
where
Town
he's...
Stakes Day.
Oh, okay, sorry.
It's not even called that anymore, I don't think. It's called the Northerly. But, like, if he comes from there, all his family's over there. His brother was killed in a trial fall over there, so
Okay, all
it's
right.
a special place to him over there, I'd suggest.
Okay, all right. I just thought the bigger crowd, WA Group 1 racing.
I think if his
It's on the
last
list.
like Flemington meeting is like Champions Day, I think surely the VRC put something on. Like they've named a race for him.
When's that race?
That's Derby Day. So the Lynn
so that could literally...
So the Lynn Lithgow is now the...
That's usually the
Damien
first
Oliver.
race on the card or something, isn't it? Is it a
Well,
1400?
It's the 1400. So I think like maybe the Carbine Club might be like race 3 because usually it's like the Carbine
early.
Club, then the Lexus, and then the Lynn Lithgow, I reckon.
So I suppose you'll have his farewell over in the eastern states.
Well, he does. Everybody gets to say goodbye to him. He should come to Sydney.
On the mic, while you're yelling at everyone.
Are you looking at levels?
Yes. I'll kick that mic into your mouth, telling me to give myself up. You're too aggressive.
No, well, you were aggressive.
That's why people getting into you on Facebook this morning.
I was not aggressive to that gentleman at all.
It's the real back here.
Yeah.
Oh, that fine gentleman. No, I wasn't.
No, I wasn't aggressive to him at all. He was having a go at me mate Ollie, and you can't have a go at somebody from 13 years ago that's done his best to do his best for the industry basically every time he throws a leg over. So
Yeah, I was... Anyway, no one could really say a bad word against Ollie, could you?
Except
People
for that-
tried.
except
Someone's
for that
tried.
gentleman.
That gentleman tried, but is he the greatest of all time? Like,
I mean, what is it, 128 Group 1 winners? Like,
yeah.
J-Mac's going to be getting close to that.
J-Mac will surpass that.
Yeah, he'll go past that,
if
won't he?
If he rides for as long as Damien Oliver
It doesn't have to. He's at 70 and he's 31.
Yeah.
And
And
he's
J-Mac's
riding...
back too. He's
Well, he's 1 from 1 on the Group 1s this season.
Yeah.
Obviously not in Melbourne this weekend, but
He hasn't even peaked yet, J-Mac.
no, probably
How
not.
old is J-Mac?
31.
And Ollie's got
51.
51.
Yeah.
20.
J-Mac can grind out another 20 years.
Well, what's
He'll hit
that?
300
J-Mac he'll ride 150 in his career, I reckon.
Yeah.
But this isn't the J-Mac podcast. It is the Ollie podcast. I will say for Ollie, there weren't as many Group 1s when he first started. So
Yep.
you can tack on probably 20 there. I'd be interested if Ray Thomas is listening. Maybe Ray, go back through.
RaceNet is definitely listening. We've decided that this morning.
We've discovered
so
that
Ray-
RaceNet are big fans.
Yeah,
of,
they've released a Danny Peasley article this week. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
and they announced Luke Dittman's retirement.
I did. Yeah,
Six
that was
weeks
that was
after
like
he did it here.
6 weeks
That
after.
was 6 weeks.
Yeah,
after.
maybe they've only just caught on.
Hello, RaceNet. Feel free to come on the
Or
show.
RaceNet, if you're listening, go back through Ollie's wins and give us a real number. Like if the Warwick Stakes, like that's an example. If he won
like-
5 Warwick Stakes as Group 2s, tack those on as Group 1s now because that race is a Group 1. So let's give him a real number. I'd like to know where that number lies.
Well, I've kind of seen this argument a little bit when people are talking about George Moore as well, like that he surpassed George Moore as a jockey, but George Moore had less Group 1s and opportunities there, which shows, obviously what an achievement that is. But I was kind of thinking about that, like the more, it's got to be relative because the more Group 1s, I suppose, there's more people that are getting into this industry. It's more competitive. Do you know what I mean? Like the prize money's bigger, so people are coming from all angles where it might not have been as competitive in regards to, what we're talking 40 years ago, or I don't even know when.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that because
it has
it's
to be. You
always
couldn't just
been
go, there's more
equally
Group
important.
1s, so he's had more chances to win them.
Well,
there has to be a point where we sit there and go, yeah, but they're a lot tougher to win these days.
are they?
Well, you have to. You'd think so.
Well, they have to get Group 1 status, they have to be, well, you'd think Group 1 standard, but I'm not going to say that because there's plenty of Group 1 races that are not Group 1 standard in Australia, but they are Group 1 races.
I listened to just on that point. Then I listened to a segment the debate from Gareth Hall's SEN thingo yesterday with Miles Fitzner and Shane Curlio, and they were talking about Alligator Blood, and Miles was making a case as Alligator Blood being one of the top horses in the country, and Shane was saying that he's 2 lengths off the genuine Group 1 horses, and Milo was saying, well, how can you say that if he's won three Group 1s? But he was saying, well, Shane was saying, well, they're Group 1s, but they're not the A grade Group 1s. They're a tier below the big Group 1s. So maybe we do have too many Group 1s here. Like,
oh, you're thinking Group 1A and Group 1B.
Group 1A, Group 1B. But like, I think Shane was using, like saying the grand finals are the top Group 1s. Your Cox Plates, your Doncasters and whatnot, and Alligator Blood was winning CF4s and Futurities and Underwoods.
Yeah, but that
the
being
way
said,
to those.
I'll just jump in there and say you'd have to say that he beat genuine Group 1 horses in that Or Stakes. Like,
oh, for sure. He beat
the other
Mr.
horse,
Brightside
I'm
and
Thunderstruck, and Mr. Brightside's gone on and won a Doncaster. So you can't say that Or Stakes wasn't a genuine Group 1. And I will, on your point, Sam, they would have been harder to win Group 1s back in the day because there was less Group 1s, so you would have had more horses going for that black type, that Group 1 status. So it's harder to win a race. Like if you're going to spread Group 1s across the board, obviously you're going to drop the bar to win a Group 1.
And you look at the autumn when you've got the Randwick Guineas and the Australian Guineas on the same day. You can go, all right, the Australian Guineas has only got 8 nominations. I'll run there, and as opposed to race 20 in the Randwick Guineas. But if it was only the one Group 1 for the 3-year-olds over the mile, you're going to have a full field of 20. You're going to have the best 3-year-old milers in the country all there, rather than them being split up, going to one of them waiting for the Australian Cup, one of them going to an All-Star Mile, others running in a George Ryder or whatever the case may be.
And that being said, like back in the day, you would have a Group 1 race in Sydney, so you would have all the best riders come and ride in that race.
Yeah, okay.
It's not like, I'm a Melbourne-based jockey, I'm going to stay in Melbourne. I'm a Sydney-based jockey, I'm going to stay in Sydney. So, like the J-Max of now, that they just stay in their hometown unless it's unless it's Melbourne Cup Week or something like that, they would have been travelling around more.
I suppose as well, like to further I suppose, your point, like recovery and like the amount of technology that's out here now, or I suppose information to recover from, you know, the rigors of being a jockey, falling in J-Mac's favour compared to like an Ollie, or even going back further to a Moore. Like, imagine back then, they wouldn't know anything about ice baths, or it'd just be bottle of scotch and a pack of durries.
Yeah, well, I still think I think knowing
City caves and do a half hour in a sauna. And
I did infrared, and I did cold plunge, and then I did recovery. Like, what's the things? You seen those things they put on their legs?
skins.
No, it's like full of
like
is it massage? Is it
sort of thing? Isn't it?
I don't know.
I think
They have them for horses too.
Yeah. It's
So, but I've seen them on people.
Equissage, like they put it on and it like pulsates on the leg and.
All I know is they don't have them at Cow, because every time I see Jeff Allendorf, he's got a set in his suitcase taking them back for his horses.
We'll have to get him at the office. But knowing and doing is very different, because a couple of jocks have recently been caught with vapes in the jocks room in Sydney. So
vape ban.
Vape.
There's a course wide vape ban at Rosehill and Randwick.
Well, vapes aren't good for you, Hill though.
Don't look at me, mate. They barely touch my lips, unless I've had a couple. In fact, I saw on a billboard driving home yesterday that schools in Queensland are implementing vape detectors.
Well, so they should. You don't want the kids getting around with the vape.
Oh,
I thought you were going to say you saw that video of me vaping.
Oh yeah, we've got to put that in this video, in this Blake vaping.
It was very good.
It was, you look like a pro. He's holding it like this, like between his two fingers.
Cigarette.
But yeah, I suppose Ollie probably holds the mantle over everyone. I don't know, like it's hard to, when you're celebrating someone, to instantly go back and compare, but I suppose that's human nature as well.
Yeah, I don't know if he's the greatest of all time, but he's in the conversation for sure.
Have you got a favourite Damien Oliver moment, whether that be a ride or a particular day or something that sticks out? Obviously, Media Puzzles.
Media Puzzles it. Media Puzzles
That's almost the greatest racing moment in.
100. That's what I was.
I would say not even racing. That's the greatest sporting moment.
Yeah.
In the history of sport.
Do you guys know that story well? Like, we would have some younger listeners that might not fully understand his story and why that ride and that win was so important in, like you said, sporting and Australian racing folklore.
Yeah, so I'll try to give my best
version
of events. Version of events. So Ollie won the Geelong Cup on Media Puzzle,
which is usually about two weeks before, 13 days before or something like that.
Yeah, and then I think like maybe the Monday, not the day before the Cup, but because he missed Derby Day.
No, he rode Derby Day. He had a stinker. He could not get his eye in it.
So he rode Derby Day.
And then it was going to be maybe I shouldn't ride Melbourne Cup Day because obviously other things are going on.
Oh, I thought he missed Derby Day, but you might be right. So when did Jason die? So Jason had a fall in a trial.
Yep, this is his brother.
I can have a look, but yeah, Jason had a fall in a trial.
The Tuesday or the Wednesday, the week before.
So 1 week before the Cup, you'd say.
Yeah.
Are you sure that he rode on Derby Day? Because I don't reckon he rode on Derby Day, but I might be wrong.
Is it integral to the story?
No.
Okay.
But he was contemplating not riding on Melbourne Cup Day, and
I'll find it. But you keep talking.
He only took one ride on Cup Day, which was Media Puzzle.
Yeah.
And Jason passed away in the days before the Cup, and Ollie suited up, and he had Jason's silks on, and the horse was never going to get beat. And I think it was Greg Miles, probably 50 metres from home, he said, Damien riding in the spirit of Jason. And then as he crossed the line, he looked up.
Yeah.
And he kissed.
Little kiss
to the sky. And then his post-race interview was unbelievable as well.
I'll watch that a little bit later. Don't need to cry this early in the day. It's pretty emotional.
Yeah. It was with Letzi.
Yeah, it was. What did he say?
He said,
He said
Melbourne Cups mean nothing. I'd
Yeah.
give anything to just have my brother back.
Yeah.
I'd give it all back
Yep.
to have my brother back. Yeah, 100%.
This is a story from
and he held it
Sydney-
together.
the Sydney Herald Sun.
Okay,
as well.
go.
It's 1.NL0BJ. Damien Oliver wasn't convinced he was in the proper headspace to ride in the Melbourne Cup of 2002, a week after his brother Jason had been killed in a fall. But as fate had it, the champion jockey would go on to win the Melbourne Cup. And then it goes on and says, but if Oliver's form on Derby Day that year was anything to go by, Ireland's master trainer Dermot Weld probably had every right to suggest he forgoed the cup ride on Media Puzzle and gave himself a chance to properly grieve the death of his brother.
Okay, so he did ride on
right.
Derby Day. Okay, that's cool. He had a stinker on Derby Day, and then he came back
Shocker.
on Melbourne Cup Day and won the race.
Yep.
But there is a movie, The Cup.
The Cup,
You ever watched it?
No, I haven't.
great movie.
Is that about Media Puzzle?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
It is about Media Puzzle.
Yep.
It's
One of the few racing movies that I think is
Half decent.
half decent.
It's all right.
Like it's not.
I don't.
It's probably not Seabiscuit or Secretariat.
It would be nice if Hollywood picked that movie up. So if
That
Hollywood are
story.
listening, yeah.
Wide audience.
I'm sure.
Wide
We've
audience.
got
this
Ray
Thursday
Thomas.
morning.
We've got
Ray Thomas,
Ben
Ray
Dorries
Smith,
and Trenton Ackers from RaceNet.
Yeah.
They're listening.
and Hollywood.
And Hollywood.
Who would you like to direct? Who would you like to direct that? And who would you like to play Darren Beattie?
Well, I think Jerry Bruckheimer would be.
Oh, you're thinking full action.
Yeah, well, he's some of the best sporting movies of all time. Like
He's Any Given Sunday. and
Any
stuff,
Given
isn't he?
Sunday. Yeah.
That could bring a. What about Beedman? What about like a Mel Gibson for Beedman?
Beeman or Oliver?
Sorry, Oliver. Sorry, I went to a
yeah, but
different
if
space then.
Mel for like the interactions in the jockeys room. With
Yeah, that's what I
Ollie
mean,
and
like-
stuff.
Don't
You know who I reckon would play
that would be
good, like-
highly charged?
Like I don't know if we've really got a bit of a badass jockey like in the rooms these days, but like I reckon like a Mark Wahlberg would play a great like little angry knock 'em down sort of jockey,
Yeah.
wouldn't he? Like,
Yeah. Who
get
could
out of
that
my
be?
way.
Andrew Adkins. I heard there's two sides to him.
there?
No.
No, I don't
He's the
know.
nicest bloke ever.
I don't know who would play. I don't know who would play him.
Oh,
Toby Maguire played the Seabiscuit jockey.
yeah, that's true. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Who played him in the cup?
I have seen him before.
Yeah.
It's bloody Eric Banner.
He was on like he's been like he's an Aussie.
Yeah, he's an Aussie actor. I
yeah.
have seen him before.
Stephen Curry.
Oh, Stephen Curry.
It
yeah, that's
wasn't
right.
Stephen Curry, was it?
Yeah.
Known for his dramatic roles.
Yes. Great 3-point shooter in the Golden State Warriors as well. Different Stephen Curry.
I know who Stephen Curry is.
Yeah.
He's for anyone that's listening that doesn't know who Stephen Curry is. He's the bloke from The Castle,
Yes.
and I think he's the one that actually says the famous line, "Dad, I've dug another hole and it's filling up with water," because he used to just dig holes in the backyard.
Yeah. Like, if this isn't just like about the all-time sort of Australian cast, like you had Stephen Curry, Daniel McPherson played Jason Oliver.
Oh yeah, I remember him from Neighbours.
Roger Corser, he was
No
in
idea
there.
who that is.
Yep. Brendan Gleeson was Dermot Weld. So
No.
he's
So obviously an all-star Australian
all-star
cast.
Australian cast.
But yeah, look.
He was in the bloke who played Dermot Weld was actually in Braveheart. Apparently, how about that?
There you go. The movie that literally had 1,000 extras. He was in it.
He was in it. Yeah.
He was angry Scotsman, 240.
43,
Oh yeah, you never saw me on Braveheart. Anyway,
Anyway, but that's how he got the gig. Yep.
Signing off on that, I reckon. Yeah, he'll be. The great thing about that is he'll be part. Like there'll be people here covering this better than us in 20, 30 years' time, and he'll still be part of the conversation.
Oh, for
I
sure.
think.
Yeah, have to be.
Yeah,
Yep. 3 Melbourne Cups, 4 Caulfield Cups.
he's got the Grand Slam.
He hasn't won an Everest.
Maybe this year. Maybe
Imagine that.
Maybe. I don't know.
Imagine that.
that'd be.
Give him a chance.
What could he ride? That's what I was actually going to ask you. So it's a bit of a segue. I think that's a good segue. Before we get into... No, we'll go to this part first. There's a match race. Well, there's talk of a match race between...
I read about this.
Yes. Farcical.
We've spoken about this shit for the last couple of weeks too. Like,
Yeah.
putting the hedge down the middle and
Yeah.
the actual slot race.
The slot race.
Someone's actually come up with the actual slot race.
Yeah. So if you've missed the news, if you've been living under a rock, if your internet doesn't work,
Yeah.
I Wish I Win and Giga Kick.
Yeah.
Giga Kick Connections went to the I Wish I Win Connections and said, let's have a match race, $750,000 to the winner.
A drag race.
Basically a paid...
I didn't know that. So Giga Kick's owners went to I Wish I Wins.
Well, I don't know if it was them, but they were certainly okay with the idea. I'm not sure if it was Racing Victoria trying to get those two horses, because I suppose the background, if you've missed it, is that I Wish I Win, you might be thinking a bit weird that he's first up in a Memsey at 1,400 on Saturday. Moods basically came out and said there's no suitable race for him other than the Memsey at the moment, given his rating. And then probably nothing really between now and Everest Day to run in again. You know, he doesn't necessarily want to go back to 1,100 of the shorts or the Premier. So it was probably going to have a jump out or a trial in Melbourne, and then go to Sydney and sort of tackle the Everest fresh. So I don't know if it's Racing Victoria or Giga Kick Connections that have tried to go, all right, let's 3 weeks between the Memsey and the Everest have a slot race, $750,000 to the winner. 1,200 metres, like a Friday night at Cranbourne kind of thing, because I think both are stabled at Cranbourne. So, or one's Cranbourne, one's Pakenham. So interesting.
A lot of risk.
Caddo have said no, definitely not. Obviously. Maybe if it was for a few million, because we've got a $20 million Everest, but
750 is not enough.
No,
in my opinion.
It's a 2-horse race. It'd be a 2-horse race for $750,000, and they're saying that's not enough. But instead, they're running first up 1,400 against a field of 15, where the winner gets $450,000. So why not? Like, if they're going to have a trial in between,
So essentially, it's like a $750,000 jump out.
Yeah, but like obviously you might get zero, like you might get beaten, but if you go and have a jump out, you're not getting prize money.
You still
anyway.
have the 1,200 metre run under your belt, which is what you're saying.
Yeah, like you're still having that.
I don't know. I think it's a little bit. What's the word? Like, I'm not a fan of shortening everything up and making kind of smaller spectacles of things like
Rapid racing.
T20 cricket, and I think they tried to do it with tennis. I think they've tried to do it with cricket. It worked, I would dare say. Like, it's another spectacle, but. Yeah, I don't know. I just think if you were to do it, I think it'd have to be a part of a series. You can't just have... It's like, racing for pink slips, like just calling people out.
No, it's they do match races sometimes in America. What was the one that...
But we don't do them here, is what I'm saying. And I don't think we should start. I think what we should do is, like we've said the last couple of weeks, is start some sort of... This could actually go back to what we're talking about in regards to the Group 1s. What if you and like I said, we have spoken about this before, so we haven't spent too much time on it, but like having that best horse in Australia, like having a actual competition or a premiership for the best horse in Australia, more and have it more advertised so that, if it is, and even like a finals series or something like that, I think just, I think 1v1's not going to bring in the masses.
We spoke about
betting either.
We spoke about it this morning. Blake, you were sort of walking into the office. I don't know if you would have heard it. So this could be just sprung on you here. But what I was thinking, if they want to go down the path of match races, I think it should be a racing...
It's not match races. It's a match race.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
it's just one.
Yeah.
No.
But he's saying if...
But hear me out, Blake.
Yeah, but you got to get your...
Fiery.
You got to articulate your speech well.
Fiery this morning.
This is a match race.
Well, this is a match race.
Okay.
But this is match racing.
Okay, let's go.
So I think Racing New South Wales should jump on board, okay? And they do everything better than anywhere else. So you've got the Everest, 12 horses, 12 slots. I think 2 weeks after the Everest, they should do a match race night, say like Canterbury Friday night under lights, all right? Your 12 horses from the Everest in the series, whoever wins the Everest in a 1,200 metre match race takes on whoever comes 12th. Second takes on 11th, 3v10, all right? You get the picture. Whoever wins goes on. It's a knockout. So essentially, you could end up with your first versus second in the Everest taking on each other head-to-head, which could very well be your I Wish I Win and Giga Kick. So it becomes that finals bracket. I think all the races, like, there's no need for it to be across a particular amount of days. Like, I'm thinking like your Auckland Nines or old five-a-side soccer comps where you play 3 short games on a Saturday morning. I think if you're only 1v1, so you're not, high pressure, big fields. It's tactical sort of affairs, and then you just run 3 times on the one Friday night.
Oh, that's a terrible.
They're running 3 times on the Friday night.
You're 1v1. It's tactical. You sit off them like the cycling.
Oh, you get in behind the
cycling at the Olympics. Like,
I didn't know. Okay, look. First, I have to say, when he was telling me all that this morning, I didn't know that was all in the one night.
well,
I
it's
wasn't
like
across the idea either, but I didn't know it was all in the one night. Okay,
How far are they
1,200
match
metres.
racing over?
well,
400 metres.
Yeah, I think you could. It's open to. PVL, I'm sure PVL's listening as well. If
listening.
if Hollywood's
He's listening with
PVL.
Hollywood.
I actually really hope that PVL is not listening to that idea.
Well, why not?
Firstly, what does that do to betting turnover? So that's why it'll probably.
Oh, well, you get to back Giga Kick 3 times in one day.
Imagine that for the multi.
Yeah, you just get to roll him up. Like,
Giga kick into Giga kick into Giga kick
Yeah.
all in one night.
yeah, why not? Or
Yeah.
like,
I just think you'd have to get a horse that's worth 20 million to run 3 times in one night. It would probably need about 5 million to decide that it would do that.
well, the Everest is worth 20.
And that's fine. But we're talking about separate to the Everest.
Yeah, but it's the same Everest field, so
But you're running it 3 times.
You have to lock into
So it's going to be 50 million.
the
15 million.
yeah.
the match racing. So if you're running the Everest, you have to lock
have
into
to go
the
on
match race
commitment.
2 weeks
commitment.
later.
Yeah, like it's
It's interesting for their preps.
Oh, yeah.
First, it went first up, then into an Everest, then 2 weeks later it
Into
went
a batch race.
1200 on the same night.
Maybe
you could go 600, 800, 1,000. Like,
maybe you would get somebody to do this at like a picnic meeting or something like that, but you're not.
Yeah, we're talking about the cream of the crop
Everest
here. You
horses
need
to
some
do
donkeys to do this.
I reckon.
He's offended.
no, I'm not offended. I came in knowing that this was like this will never happen. But you want a $750,000.
It's imaginative.
I don't want that
It's
either.
imaginative.
I don't want that.
I reckon the
Hypotheticals.
match race is a good idea.
Like it's a match race, not match races.
The match race.
You did say that.
You think the match race is a good idea?
Yes.
Between those 2 horses or
Match
general?
races.
That match race is a good idea because they're the 2 best sprinters in Australia. Like if we get a chance
but not a night of match racing.
night of match racing is a bad idea. But if we get a chance
Redhead
to showcase
could
our
sponsor it, the matches.
Oh, the matches.
Yeah.
Perfect.
3
Great.
weeks out from the Everest, if we
Okay,
get a
here we
chance
go.
to showcase those horses, it shouldn't be about betting turnover or anything like that. It should be about getting people into the industry, getting people excited about the Everest. 3 weeks out from the Everest is AFL finals.
Yeah.
Could they do something with
Preliminary final weekend, which is probably the best weekend.
Could
for
they do
football as
something
well, 'cause it's
that at
first week of
halftime of...
at the MCG?
No.
Oh, sorry.
I'm saying...
I was going to say, Buck the Bronco comes out every time the Broncos score and does a lap
right.
of Suncorp. Why can't I Wish
Let's
I Win
say-
and Giga Kick go around the MCG? How far is
How-
that? 400 metres?
How about you two be quiet for 1 minute, please? How about
Sorry.
we get the connections of the 2 horses to the MCG at halftime, and then the horses are at Pakenham and they're going to do their match race. We put it on the big screen.
Yeah.
We charge $5 extra per ticket for the halftime show, which is the
not at
Everest
the stadium.
Encore, but it's on the screens. We at Pakenham we give away a car, so you got to be on course to see the spectacle and to go in the running for the car. So 2 people get pulled out of a hat. You're on course. You get Giga Kick. You get I Wish I Win. Whoever wins gets a car sponsored by Kia. Then at the MCG, we're doing the interviews with Clayton Douglas and Peter Moody, and we're talking about the Everest. We're talking about our horses.
What you're trying
So
to
the
do
trainer's
is...
not with the horse.
No, they don't have to be.
No.
They don't have to be. The horses are on the screen. Bang, we jump. We've got the entertainment. We're bringing 100,000 new people potentially to the industry, plus the people that are turning up at Pakenham.
a couple of million that are watching on telly.
The millions of people that are watching on TV, we're bringing them into our game.
Okay.
You know what you could do? You know when you watch the cycling at the Olympics and it's like the sprints and they start at opposite ends of the course, like this, what do you call it? The palindrome?
Yeah.
Velodrome.
Yeah.
And they've got the line.
How about you think about what you're about to say before you say it?
Is this adding to his idea? Or?
Yeah, sort of. But more
You want
about
them at the MCG.
I want them at
No,
the MCG.
No. Okay, let me think about Blake's idea, and then we must stop talking about this. Is it a good spectacle?
Okay, so
that's the first question I want to ask. Is a match race a good spectacle? Like if we're trying, like, okay, I like your idea.
If they're trying, if the horses are trying,
If we're
for sure.
saying like half time at the MCG, somehow Toyota is giving away a car at the Toyota halftime grand final show because it's the Toyota AFL grand final.
Okay.
Is that the spectacle you want? Just 2 horses racing against each other?
Well, if they're the 2 best horses in the country, you're always.
But
in a
these
race
people don't
of-
know that. Like they're just
Yeah, but we're
introduced
going
to the
to
sport.
we're going to introduce them to
promote
that.
that.
We're going to. Yeah, well, definitely. We'll hand out flyers to every person. We'll give them the front will be I Wish I Win CV. Back will be Giga Kick CV. Upcoming races. Get to Randwick. 3 weeks' time, these horses will be competing in a $20 million race. This is their lead up. We're doing a match race. We're going to get to see who is the best horse in the country. Because
before the Everest, which will crown
when
the best horse in the country.
You have a full field, there are genuine excuses.
Yes.
Okay. But also, I think a wonderful part of this sport is that any horse can win. Like a lot of times when you are watching sport, there's a really good chance that one team's going to win. Sometimes it's evenly matched, but a lot of times the top 8 is going to beat the bottom 8.
Definitely, that's one of the best things about our sport.
So we're removing that. We're trying to introduce it to an audience while we remove one of the best parts of it. And I love everything about your idea. I just don't like the match race. I don't think it'd be a very good spectacle. I think it would be more just for industry people.
Have you ever seen a match race?
I've seen a jump out. I've seen 2 horses.
Jump outs aren't trying. They're not trying.
Sometimes they are.
Could you?
Yeah, I have.
The
like,
bad ones. The bad ones are trying.
No, like I've been in the Gold Coast race where 2 have gone out and they're going. I don't know. It takes away the other aspects.
Because it's not I Wish I Win and Giga Kick.
I don't
It's
think
different.
that. But I
if
don't
it's
think
Diwali
that makes
Lights
it.
and another horse winning at bloody
Fab's Cowboy.
Rockhampton.
I don't.
I'll
know.
leave Rockhampton out of this. What if we talk about like a
36 minutes in the show, and our first mention of Rockhampton comes from you. Wow.
Yeah, gee whiz. Like a match race, like if it is just 2 horses, it could be really slowly run, sit and sprint. What if both connections got to put in a pacemaker? So Moody gets to put in a stayer, Clayton gets to put in a stayer. So there's genuine tempo. Those 2 aren't included in the prize money. They're just out there to set the tempo.
I'd be okay with one pacemaker. But, like, I'm okay with a tactical affair because both horses have a genuinely fast last 600, like blistering.
Yeah.
They're both going to...
So this match race should just be over 600 metres.
Well, it basically is going to be over 600 metres. They're going to trot and canter to the 6 and then they're going to let down for 600 metres. So... that's okay. Like, and we're probably not going to see the best horse because it's not a genuinely run race.
Isn't
but
that what we want to see?
we're
Yeah,
going to
that's what I
see
mean. I
the
feel like
best
that's-
tactical affair. Like, if Nolan is in his right mind, he's not going to be giving Giga Kick a length with 600 metres to go. They're going to be...
It's going to be Hartnell and Winks in
eyeballing
the
each-
Cox Plate, eyeballing each
They're
other.
probably, if they really want to win it, Like
They're just staying right next to each other until they hit.
he'll
that
bang
straight.
out at the 800 and get next to Giga Kick and they'll eyeball each other for 200 metres before
It could be
it
exciting.
all happens. Like I think
I'm
it's
actually, I wouldn't mind seeing that.
I think it's great. Like, why not? And I know it's not our pinnacle. Like, it's not the greatest thing that... It's not the
should be
Melbourne
selling,
Cup. The
yeah.
Melbourne Cup's the best race. Like, and it captures everybody's imagination because everybody, your local barista's got a tip, the person at the supermarket's got a different tip, your experts have got different tips, and that's okay.
Yep.
But
Yeah, okay.
this is just an introduction to the sport. Yes, it's not what our sport is about, but we're going to race the two best horses we have in the country against each other, and we're going to eliminate factors that could come
Your horse
against them
stuck in traffic,
any given
God.
race. Look at
Yeah,
greyhound
I'm not
racing
sold.
is very
They do it.
prominent.
Yes, they do, don't they?
Yes, and then they race in a final. Hello, what have
It's
I
a
been
dog.
saying? Oh, greyhound. Oh.
It's not on the same night. Yeah, it's greyhound.
Horses are basically big dogs, is what you're saying.
Basically. Okay, well, why don't we make the Everest the final and you have the match racing
Okay.
leading up to
This
the
is
Everest?
what I'm talking about. How
have
good would a
24
slot race be where you've got to qualify for the slot?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
So-
so that means that, and I'm not talking about Everest, but an Everest style.
Everest.
Yeah, but I'm
you're gonna
saying,
have 24 horses and there's 12 slot races. So each...
oh, you're saying, yeah, okay.
and the
We're
winner
back
of
to the
each
match race.
match race gets the slot, but each slot holder gets to have those two horses. So whatever wins that...
I would love. Okay,
This is
hit
the
us
aqua
up.
slot.
Can we do a post? Somehow we've got to clip up what we've just
27
spoken about for
minutes
the
of
last 20 minutes.
content.
But I would love to get everyone's thoughts on this. I'm a no for match racing.
It's not match racing. It's a match race. It's one.
No, but match racing would be like. Oh, you're saying
that I'm a no for that too. I'm a no for match racing.
Yeah, look,
Unless
maybe it's a
they're
one-off
greyhounds.
spectacle, but I just think there's a lot of risk. Regardless, there's a lot of risk involved.
I'm
Like,
sure-
especially in the lead up to Everest.
Yeah.
No,
Like
like
Giga Kick versus
750
I Wish
grand.
I Win would be more exciting than Winks versus Blackheart Bart versus he or she, like we got in the Caulfield Stakes a few years ago. 3 horses.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Don't want that. Like that
But
was
okay,
just a walkover.
so I'll just say like.
Imagine
If this match race was to go ahead, the Giga Kick, I wish it has to be after Everest, or it's got to be worth the same as Everest. Why would you risk? I know
there's
there's
not
less
much risk. There's not much
you don't
risk
know,
involved.
but anytime they go out, there's risk.
Well, you got to work them. You're going to keep them in cotton wool and keep them boxed up. You're not going to win an Everest.
Some of them will. Some of them.
No,
that's-
I wish
No,
I Win's going
to
to
us-
gallop. I wish I Win's going to gallop with Psy that same Tuesday morning. Why can't he gallop with Giga Kick for 700,000?
it's a gallop
Yeah, that's all this is going to be.
This is a gallop too.
until the 600.
It's a gallop. No, gallop.
Trot 'em.
Gallop's fast.
Trot and canter into a gallop.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, we'll put a post up. Just, set the scenario if you guys think it would be worth doing, and if further to that, whether there'd be a match.
all
You
right.
should just do like a 30-second reel just explaining your idea and if people think it's a good idea or not.
That's
I'd
definitely
get
do that. So
All
Cancelled.
in your favour.
let's say if you could see it, Black Caviar versus Winks over 1,400 meters. You wouldn't want to see that.
No, I would. I think I'd want to see it, but I just.
I think that'd be different though than watching Giga Kick versus I Wish I Win because Black Caviar is going to go forward. Winks could be 3 or 4 lengths off Black Caviar.
But that's a spectacle as well. Like it'd be as
Two
good
of our
to
greatest
see.
ever.
Well,
Like,
Black Caviar would beat her, but
really
no
in a
doubt.
one-on-one
Yeah. Oh, Black Caviar.
in the match racing.
She
Series.
could probably over 1,400 meters in a race that's not a race break 32 in the last 600 meters, and Winks. Well,
How
she
come
could
Peter
get
Moody
close
gets
enough
to have
to
all
that.
these
but-
horses in these match races.
He's the best, isn't he?
Yeah.
Beauty.
I Wish I Win does go around in the Memsey this
Yep.
weekend. Have we had a chance to look?
I
at
haven't
the
looked
field?
at it. I haven't looked at
the
it.
field.
So I have looked at it, but I reckon, like,
Can he
I don't
win?
think. Obviously, he can win. He's the best horse in the race, but I don't think he's there to win. I don't think he'll win. I think this will just be find the line, let's get ready for that $20 million Everest. That's all that will be about. It won't be about winning. If he wins, he wins. But yeah, I don't like. He's obviously, in my opinion, clearly the best horse in the race. But
well, you say he's the best horse in the country, so he's got to be the best horse in the race, doesn't he?
Well, he's clearly the best horse in the race. In the Everest, he's going to be the best horse in the race, but he's not going to be clearly the best horse in the race.
Sam, of course we know who you're tipping.
Yes. And early money's come for AB and Osipenko as well, which is another one that we're very keen on.
If there's any horse that's there to win, it's AB.
Yeah, 100%. I think they've come out and said that this was always...
This is his race.
This is
well, he's not that
because he's a second-tier Group 1 horse.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Group 1B.
Anyone that says that...
Group 1B.
That's what the B in blood stands for. Not the A in alligator. Forget that. We don't call him the alligator. We call him the blood.
He's a Group 1B winner. I don't think so.
Although he has won a Stradbroke, so that's Group 1A.
So if you... I was going to say...
Stradbroke might be C.
We'll remember that...
That's Group X. Like, that's
above.
That's above. That's platinum sort of...
Stradbroke.
I can't believe you've just called the Stradbroke.
You just called Alligator Blood a Group 1B winner and had won the Stradbroke. So you started it.
He has won like a futurity or whatever.
Like I said, where's that Alligator Blood hat that I told you to not throw out and bring it?
Yeah, it's on my desk.
Because we're gonna put a mural. This whole wall is going to be an Alligator Blood mural. Pat's paying for it. So it's going to have a little Sydney-wide discounts. Like go in the
QR
bottom.
code that you
QR
can
code, yeah, get a discount.
It's okay. We can do that.
I wouldn't mind your ticket either, Nick, on Osipenko as well. I think you got him at 20s or something.
Yeah, $21 about Osipenko. Thanks to our good
Price
friends.
is he now?
$9.50, sort of, could be shorter some places.
Definitely
Saturday.
shorter where I'm looking at this morning, but
Caulfield,
Hopefully runs well and then wins the Maccabi Diva.
$9 a
be
double.
nice.
Yeah, well, I'll be having the ticket ready to go for him in the Maccabi Diva when he's pulling away in the Memsey.
drawn well.
Mark
It's
Zara.
definitely, yeah.
Bit of a, it's a jockey upgrade, I think. It's not like a bush jockey going to a Group 1 jockey, but I think Brendan Avdulla has probably not been in the form that he's been in 3 or 4 years ago. So he's going to Mark Zara.
Yeah.
I think that's a positive switch. He goes from barrier 15 of 16 in the Wink Stakes to barrier 2. So a lot to like.
Yeah. Is that who you would have on top?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Osipenko on top for me. So
Beauty.
yeah.
Looking forward to it. If you guys haven't listened to the Danny Peasley podcast, go and listen to that one. We've had some great feedback, a lot of feedback from the industry, which is cool.
Yep.
And listen to Locked In because the Patrick's back.
Patrick is back.
Yeah.
Locked in. When was that recorded last night? Tonight?
We're recording
You're
it.
gonna be on it
You're on
in
it.
an
We're
hour.
reporting it after this.
When was that?
He's going to be on that big screen. You'll be looking at his head in a little bit.
Okay, punters. Well, I better go up and do some form. I'll see you guys later.
See you, punters.
Thanks, punters.